Hello, corporate badasses. I am so excited to be here with you again this week. I am really enjoying these interviews, and I have a bit of a confession to make. I go back and watch them just to inspire myself, not necessarily because I love watching myself talk, which I do, but I just really love being in community and hearing from other experts in the world who really are on this greater mission of changing the leadership table. And basically what that means is bringing you as a corporate badass, fully resourced self to the leadership table. You are ready. And there are so many tools and resources at your disposal to help you get there. And for me right now, in the middle of July of 2024, I'm focusing on the resource of magic. Because if we are ready, if we have those right tools in place, if we've done the work, then really our job is to open ourselves up and to kind of follow the magic that's already around us. And I set out on a mission a couple of years ago to get women promoted even while they were on vacation. And what I noticed is that it was actually the shift in the belief that they could get promoted even while they were on vacation or sabbatical or, maternity leave, whatever might be taking them what they thought was physically away from work. But what I found is that if they put the pieces in place to set up their career ahead of time, then that magic happens. These people are getting calls while they're on vacation. It's really, I literally, just like last Friday, I got the magical call of like, you're never going to believe I was on the beach, right? It happens. And so I want that to happen for you. So that's why I'm interviewing all of my favorite people as part of the Summer of Magic series to talk about those supernatural leaps, those leaps that seem almost impossible when you're just looking for your next role or you're, unemployed or you're thinking about how do I even get my boss to like me? There is this possibility that not only can we get our boss to like us, but we can actually leap over that. We can create something even bigger for ourselves. And so as I've been thinking about my guests for a part of this series, thank you, Kate. I love, she's been very interactive even so far, but I want to give her plenty of time to speak today. I'll have her introduce herself in a minute. Kate is somebody that I've known for almost, it has to be like 5 years or something. I feel like we've known each other many, many, many years. And that seems like a lot to me. She's had a great impact and influence on me directly as a coach and also with my clients and working with them. And it's been such a wonderful opportunity and collaboration. And as I'm doing that, I also want to encourage you to say hello and to comment in the comments. This helps us in two ways. One is it helps us tailor our conversation today so that we're actually answering your questions. And also it helps other people find us. And as you know, see, we've even got a comment about Kate's earrings, right? Anything that you love about today's conversation, please share it because it helps other people on LinkedIn find us so that we can get more women to the leadership table. All right, Kate, take it away. Introduce yourself. Who in the heck are you? Tell us more.
Oh my gosh, Stacy, thank you so much for bringing me here today. It's always such an honor to have audience with your clients because they are such badasses just like you. And this is like part of my mission, not part of my mission. It is my mission, like it's your mission. I've got a mission to help 10,000 women and cool men and thems get those executive level jobs that they've earned. And I've been doing this work for over 5 years, writing executive resumes. For a while, I did it on the side as a side hustle. For the last year and a half, it's been my full-time gig. And I really specialize in working with women across the globe who are in global enterprises or startups, small companies, anywhere from chief of police to chief technical officer. Wide variety, but the thing they have in common is they are executives. They know they've earned their next position and they're having a difficulty really articulating that on paper and then also sometimes believing it themselves. And so I was so excited when you asked me to talk about the magic because there is this magic in revealing the truth about ourselves to ourselves.
Right. And we're specifically talking about, making those magical leaps like in our resume. But the goal is that we not only get the interview, but that we get the role that we want. Right. And I think so often people are so focused on getting a job, which is, there are certain times when we just need to get a job. And I totally agree with that. And that we forget about this level of like, what do we truly want? Right. Do we want, to never have to look for another job again, right? I love that. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you are going to have to find a new job every 2 years. But I mean that heavy mindset of like that pain, that suffering. I have to find another job. I got laid off again. But if you can flip that and really transition into this idea of like, I am in control. I understand what I want. That's that piece. And I see my clients, like I have several clients who have worked with you for years, and they're working with me and they're building their career, and they're starting to use you not as like a fix me tool, which they might do that as well, but like fix my resume or like that desperation, like I need to get this together, but more as this like integration. So can you speak to that sort of longevity of just having your assets in place, like, making sure that you are ready and available for interview and, resume opportunity, like whatever that might be.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stacy. Yeah. So one of the first things I do when I work with a client initially is to ensure that they've got scroll stopping materials so that their materials really reflect the level of maturity and sophistication that the person has in their experience, that it's really focused on the impact of their work. Once we get it dialed in, I like to talk about developing one source of truth. And so, for example, when a client of yours might come to me, the one source of truth might be an initial document that's 5 pages long, right? Because we want to just pull all the brilliance into one spot. Once we have that, we can really plug and play and develop that material for whatever position you're looking for. We can re-angle it, right? And so what I'm finding as clients come back over the years, and you're right, it is every 2 years, there should be something sparking and happening in your career to move you forward. Even if you're CEO, it's what's the new M&A? What's the new divestiture? Where are you moving to next? Are you on a, are you consulting with VCs? Are you consulting with, startups, et cetera? So there's always movement to happen in the role. And one of the things I like to do is gather this kind of data library about the client. We keep it for you. It's confidential, right? But it's there for you. And then over time, as things develop, we can come back in and reposition it. And most importantly, I think one of the things that I found with the clients I've worked with over time through your group is helping them reposition for that next role. Get ready for those interviews and do some mock interviews that are at a different level, because when you're interviewing at that SVP C level, it's not like you're interviewing at the director level. It looks a little different.
Yeah. I'd love to talk about some of those differences, but before we do, just because of the subject matter of this, and these are shorter interviews, so maybe I need to get Kate on my podcast and we'll just like dig into this for a whole hour. I can already tell. I get it. I'll add it to my list, and I'm so excited about it. But so in terms of magic, right? Just straight up question: do you believe in magic? How has magic shown up in your life or for your clients?
Yes, I believe in magic when I set an intention and ask a question. I bring it into my life. I bring things into my life. And I use that a lot with my clients because they can put up limiting beliefs that are based on old information, old data that doesn't matter anymore. And I have found, I recently just had a client down in Florida who I said, what do you have to lose if you try this networking technique I suggested? And she said, well, I guess nothing. I said, okay. She went out and did it, and she got 3 interviews within a week. So that's magical. Like, I think the magic is in getting that intuition, asking the question and taking that leap of faith and just doing it. I mean, this girl is so talented. She hadn't had an interview in 3 months, and then she got
Uh-huh.
3 in 1 week. That's
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, totally. It reminds me of, you I was just thinking about this idea of intention, and that is one of the components when I talk about the magical formula. The first
Mm,
piece is always setting the correct intention. And when you said, what do you have to lose? And whether this woman was either unemployed or working for an organization, what she had to lose is that, right?
yes.
Being
Yes.
unemployed, her job, whatever. And I think that's so good. It's like, let's own that. You know what? I got to lose this crap that I'm dealing with every single day and then
Yes.
focus on what I truly want, right? And so then
Mhm.
we're really setting that intention and opening ourselves up to these possibilities.
Yes.
Um, I think so often a fear for women is, if I open that door, so you go to the networking event and then they ask you to send you their resume, or they
Yeah.
ask you, well, what do you want? Right. I have one of the first lessons back in when I was doing executive ahead of time, my program was understand your leadership style. So you can even just talk about yourself. Right. So what are some of those basic components so we open the floodgates, we open the magical portal, you get
Yeah.
the 3 interviews, and then you go, oh my God, I don't even know how to answer interview questions. I don't even have a resume to send them. I don't even know what I want. Right. So where do you
Yeah.
start, like back then, like back it up?
Yeah. I think I've got a whole bunch of tools and scripts on. So tell me about yourself. How do we answer those questions? But I think the most important thing is very, very simple. And
Hmm.
it's magic in its simplicity.
Nice.
Because here's what people really, really care about. And we know this. They care
Uh-huh.
about themselves, right?
Uh-huh.
So if someone's asking you, so what do you want? They want to hear something that's solving their problem, not about you really,
Ooh,
right?
look at that. Write that down. If anybody is listening, okay? So if somebody's asking you what you want, that what they're actually asking is how do you solve their problem? If
Correct.
anybody's listening and wants to write that in the comments, that's so beautiful.
So I have a three-part formula for this. Very simple and magical when used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first part is thinking about what are the kinds of problems I solve.
Okay.
Now, this is kind of reverse engineering something. And for a lot of people, it's actually difficult for them to stay thinking about the kinds of problems they solve because they get into the how.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
just come up, get a whiteboard, whatever. What are the kinds of problems you solve?
Mm-hmm.
It could be something like efficiency. It could be something like getting new clients. It could be something like streamlining technology. It could be something like integrating global systems and ERPs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's all sorts of problems people solve. And you can kind of then see thematically what does that look like together? What are those kinds of problems I solve as a theme? All
Mm-hmm.
right. So give
Mm-hmm.
yourself 10 minutes on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then I encourage people to think about who are the kinds of people I solve problems for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first it's what kinds of problems do I solve? Second, who do I solve problems for? This could be executive teams. This could be global marketing organizations. This could be nonprofit nonprofit organizations that are trying to change the world, right? So
I want to pause for a second because I love this. I want you all to have this visual in your mind while you're listening to her. So imagine that you've got your resume and it has words on it. It's literally like a piece of paper. I mean, most of us don't even print them out. It's just on our screen, right? It's just a bunch of words. And so often when someone says, what do you want? Or, tell me about yourself, right? You just start saying those words, right? It's very two-dimensional. It's just like flat. It doesn't go anywhere. And now imagine a pop-up book, right? So you've got this resume, and what Kate is describing right now is she's taking the resume and the credibility and she's turning it into a pop-up book.
I
It has
love
these
that.
like choose your own adventures. It has colors. It has texture. It has stories. We understand what it is. So even just in her like, what problems do you solve and who are those people that you solve those problems for? Now we have some life to your credibility, right? We can remember it, we feel it, we see it, we experience it. So she's still talking about the resume. So many of you think we just go high level and speak visionary, and then we're not even talking about anything factual. No, she's talking about the resume. These are real problems that you solve and that you want to do more of. So I wanted to kind of plant that in your mind, because as we're waving our magic wands this summer, it is a little bigger than just words, right? It's like it's energy, it's textures, it's feelings, it's thoughts, right? So keep going, because I know you got one more in there, because you already set us up. But I want to add that as you're thinking about her third piece.
Okay, so we've got our pop-up book. I love that analogy. I can see it now. So the first one being, what are the kinds of problems I solve? Second, who am I solving the problems for? What kind of people am I solving problems for? And the third one is, what kind of help do I provide? Okay, so we're going with that one third. And then bonus, what's the impact of my work?
Yeah.
Right?
And that,
big pop-up.
Yes, this is huge. Right. And how do I do that? Like, and let me do that for you. And, it's like, right. This is so good. Yeah. I love this. And, as you all are thinking about making supernatural leaps in your career opportunities, which is, I think, how we set up today's conversation, it is about telling a more elevated story. It is about getting, and some of the ways you do that is getting more specific and like understanding the value, like actual getting numbers, putting together this 5-page Google Doc that you said of all the amazing things that you've done in your career, so that you have tools to pull from. And then now opportunities start to come to you. You get 3 interviews in 1 week when you've had a dry spell for 3 months. You get, like, I have a lot of clients talking a lot about the industries, right, that they're in, and how everybody's getting laid off, or this is happening, right? And so we know that, we understand that, and that is true and valid. But the way that we become the exception to the rule of this unemployment, scarcity, whatever, is by making ourselves known, by having that intention, as you've shared with us, Kate. Anything else that we need to hear today that might, I love, like, how people are writing down what you've shared with us.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. I would just say this. It's very competitive, even internally. It's very competitive for that next role. And there are a lot of talented people out there. And so you're competing against other really great people. The one thing that is going to set you apart, and that you're going to be in a category of one, you're not going to be able to be compared with anyone, is when you talk about your results, claim them, name them, own them. And so if we remember problems I solve, we're going right into the psychology of the person asking the question. Who I solve them for validates them and how they feel about how they relate to you. How I go about helping, that just shows people how you then can interact and how they could expect to work with you. And then the impact, boom, this is category of one material, and it's magical when you use it.
Oh, you're brilliant, Kate. I am excited to have you on my podcast, because I had so many questions as we were listening. I know other people did as well. I also know that a lot of people listening will want to work with you. I encourage them to follow you, of course, on LinkedIn, to connect with you. But if you have any other ways that you would like to invite this intentional connection in, I welcome it.
Thank you. Yeah, please follow me on LinkedIn. I give everything away. I give everything away if you follow me. But of course, I work with people who don't have time for DIY, right? You're too busy to do DIY. So that's really where then I come in and support executives. So
that's actually a big surprise for my clients who do work with you. They say, wait, what? She does it for me? Yes, yes, yes. Right? She's pulling this information out of you. This is huge, right? Yeah. And it's not, Anyway, we'll continue the conversation. You're brilliant. I'm going to have another guest on here next week. I'm so excited about having all of this come together to create magical opportunities for women everywhere, all across the globe. Thank you, Kate, for your work. You are a badass, as so many other women said at the top of this interview. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate you. Take care, everybody, and I wish everyone the best of success in your magical summer.